What's up guys, Nick here, and in this video I am going to be teaching you how to set up your email feedback sequence. For those of you who don't know, the email feedback sequence is what we use as sellers to reach out to customers who purchase products from us and get them to convert into a review. So it's an automated sequence that's based on certain triggers, like whether they receive the product, whether they purchase the product, and we can then devise a set of emails to be sent to them to convert into a specific action. So with regards to the email sequence, our goals are really twofold. One, we want to prevent negative feedback. So we want to make sure that customers are aware that we can respond to any kind of customer issues that arise. And two, we want to encourage them to leave a positive product review. So, for me personally, we've launched anywhere from 150 plus SKUs, and I've tested at about 30 different types of emails and a bunch of different types of sequences. And what I've found is that less is more. One period of time, we sent about 5 emails, and we found that people just got super pissed and super annoyed that we were sending so many emails that they decided to blacklist us. So as we kind of reduced our emails over time, we realized that less was more. And so in our experience, we found, and I would recommend, that you send 2 emails over a period of 8 days post-delivery. Again, anything greater has always generated negative results, and it's always ended up in being a bad impression of our brand. So I wouldn't recommend any more than 2. And to kind of support that, there's a rumor that Amazon will actually begin to start limiting email feedback sequences to just 1 email per purchase. So that's probably, it makes sense. I would imagine a lot of customers are complaining. Either way, with just 2 emails, we send a similar format for each one. So even if they limit it to 1 email, we'll be just fine. Attached to this course, we've of course included a template for you to copy. What we'll be overviewing here in this presentation is just more so a format that you can follow. I highly recommend that you customize the template that we provide for you. It's better to attach your own brand voice to it, but it's totally up to you. All right, so email number 1. I like to send the first email about 4 days post-delivery. And here's why I like to do it post-delivery. We used to send emails pre-delivery right away when they purchased, and we found that customers actually get really, really angry when you send them an email about getting feedback when they haven't even received the product. So now we've changed that to just only sending emails post-delivery, and we found a lot more success. And here's an option that you can do, especially if it makes sense for your product. A lot of products successfully include PDF attachments in their emails, and you can do this with most of the tools that are available out there. And these PDF attachments have either a link to a landing page or an instructional YouTube video or just a PDF instruction. This is a great way to build additional touch points with your customer and to convert them into getting an email from them. I think if you're going to include an email, it's a great way to add value, to include a PDF, it's a great way to add value to your emails. And it's always good to add value because customers see emails as a distraction and an annoyance. So if you add value, they'll be happy to have opened that email. And you want to make sure you have that positive experience with your customer. In terms of the format of the first email, it's relatively simple. For the subject line, I like to actually make it look like it's officially from Amazon. So it really kind of mimics that. Your Amazon.com order of quote unquote product name. Now this is a tag. So if you use a tool or want to use a tool, you'll be able to actually do a tag where it automatically pulls what was ordered into this subject line. And that's something you won't have to type in manually. It's just something that automatically gets done for those of you not familiar with sequence tools. So you put that tag in, and in the body I start off by saying, 1, hope you're enjoying product name. And I like to put the tag here again because I've actually found that a lot of customers, they buy so many things on Amazon, they forget what they purchased. So before, when we didn't include the product name, customers would just reply and say, hey, what product are you referring to? So now we try to make that clear. We want to make sure they understand what they're reviewing and who they're talking to. Next, I want to make sure that if they have any issues, that issue gets resolved by us and not by Amazon. And here's why. When they go through Amazon, Amazon scores your listing and you actually get rated as to how many returns or how many issues you have. If you have too many, your listing will get shut down and you have to go through a lot of trouble to get it back up. So I find it best, especially if this customer might leave a negative review, I find it best to go ahead and give them an option to reply to us. So all these sequence tools have it set up so that when they reply, it'll go directly to your inbox. And I make that clear here. If you have any issues, please reply to this email immediately. And I like to bold it so that we can make things right. Emails go directly to my inbox and I will respond ASAP. All right, so now that we've settled that, into the next section. If they are happy, I tell them a little bit about us. Small businesses like us live and die by feedback. So if you're happy, we'd appreciate if you could take 5 seconds to leave a quick feedback about your experience. So I did 2 things here. One, I told them about us. I told them that we're a small business and that we live and die by feedback. So it would help us a lot if you could do us this favor. Two, I make sure that they understand it doesn't take a long time to leave a product review. I know a lot of times when there's a request of me, I just don't want to do it because I don't know how long it'll take. Saying that it will only take 5 seconds, even if it doesn't, creates more incentive for them to actually click into the next part of the email, which is click here to leave a review. And then I like to sign off with something simple, sincerely, and in the signature, I'll either use my name or a fake name, but essentially I want to make it seem like that there's a person specifically designated for answering customer support emails. And so I'll put a name and I'll say, Director of Customer Happiness or Customer Success Manager. I think that goes a long way, and that makes people feel like there's an actual person behind the customer service. You can include your own name as well. It's totally up to you. All right, so for email number 2, I like to do this one 8 days post delivery. Again, so this gives them enough time to use the product. And let's say there is an issue with the product and we resolve it with them, and they obviously didn't leave a positive review. I can go ahead and leave hit them up with another email that asks them once again, how do they like the product? So subject line, simple. How do you like your quote unquote tagged product name? Now in the body, it's really just like the first one, but just changed up a little bit. So same thing, now that you've had some time to use your product name, we hope it's everything you imagined it to be. And once again, I'm reiterating and making sure that they hit me up and they let me know before they either leave a bad review or they contact Amazon about a bad product. So I want to make sure that I'm super available for them to reach out to me for any kind of issues. Next, I go ahead and say, if you're satisfied with your purchase, we'd appreciate if you could take 5 seconds to leave a review. Again, same thing, yada, yada, yada. Small sellers like us live and die by feedback. Same thing, just paraphrase a little differently. Same thing, click here to leave a review, and I sign off in the same way. So again, the format doesn't really change. No matter how you write the copy, I would recommend that you go through this format. We want to make sure that we first avoid any negative reviews. So you do that by making sure that you're available for customer issues. And then once they've resolved that, we can then move in for the ask. All right, so pro tips, let's just recap here. We want to make sure that the emails are simple, short, and sweet. The shorter they are, the simpler they are, the more likely someone will read them and the more likely someone will actually convert into a purchase. Next, we want to try to convey some personality. Go with the family business angle, go with the small business angle. If you are a husband-wife duo, if you have a unique story, talk about that a little bit. Make it short, but also convey that through your email so that people will like you more and be more likely to leave a review. The next thing is, I like to not have images. We found that there are actually better conversions that way. And this is why. Gmail actually filters out images and can filter them out and possibly flag them to put them into spam. So we want to try to avoid that and make sure that it's just pure text and it's simple. Next tip is try to leave a promo code to cross promo your products. So let's say you have a really popular item, create a 10% promo code and direct that person to that item. You can direct them to your store, and you can also do a 10% promo code off your entire store and link them to your storefront. It's a good way to cross promote and also a good way to have customers have more insight and interest in your brand. All right, so in terms of tools, these are the 2 that I highly recommend. I personally love using Zonpages over Feedback Genius, and I've used a slew of 4 to 5 different email feedback sequence tools. And here's why I like Zonpages. It's 1, cheap, 2, has all the features that you need, and 3, they don't charge you in tiers. And what I mean by this is that Feedback Genius, as you continue to grow and scale your business, will start charging you based off of how many emails are sent a month. And I just feel like that's bullshit personally. Emails cost nothing to send, so they should not charge us more for that. And it does get very expensive and add up. Feedback Genius does, as a caveat, have some advanced functionality like open rates and being able to track that kind of stuff. But again, I don't think that information is necessarily the most accurate or as important. So I would definitely recommend going with Zonpages in terms of cost benefit. Okay guys, now that we've walked through the basics of how to set up an email feedback loop and why they're so crucial, I want you to go ahead and sign up for an email feedback service tool and utilize our templates to write your own custom feedback. Now, the more personality you inject into your email loop, the better it will be for your brand and the more engagement you will get. So go ahead and get started. We should have the attachment tied to this video in this lesson, so go get started. And that's it, guys. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below or hit me up on Facebook. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next lesson.